He said, go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it's the new year. Welcome back. 2020 survived with Doug Monda.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Chris Hadaway. Hey, Karen didn't make it tonight. She's, I'm sure, busy planning, getting ready for what this year has to unfold for us.
Yeah.
And as we sit here, the Dirty Oar made it back to another wonderful year. And we have Paul here. Paul's going to tell us what we have in store for today.
I got it tight, Paul. Sorry, hold on. Oh,
Tight.
Loosen that up.
Doug said I got it tight. I like it tight. That took his breath away.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Man, I hope you guys had fun at the party.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We had a ball.
Yeah.
We've had a great holiday season. We appreciate everything you guys do for us.
No, we're thankful for you.
Thanks, man.
Especially in this new year.
Thanks.
5K too.
5K. Oh, that was a ball. We had so much fun.
Hey, don't give away all the secrets yet.
Oh, I forgot. Karen's not here. I got to follow the rules.
Yeah,
right?
no, you don't got to follow the rules. We're at our own pace tonight. We don't have anybody cracking the whip on us.
Well, let me talk about the beer first.
Absolutely.
This is, it's called Dead Bug Belgian.
Dead Bug.
I don't know if everybody's heard of Dead Bug Dave.
Dead Bug. He's a local guy.
He's a local guy. All-around good guy. I mean, great friend of ours and Founders Club member at the brewery.
Absolutely.
But he does his holiday party.
Okay.
He sponsors a bunch of hockey teams and does a lot of good things in the community. And, we are very supportive of him as well.
Absolutely.
And we make this beer as his namesake. It is a Belgian little apricot nose.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said that right. Apricot?
Potato.
Right.
Apricot. Apricot.
Nice Belgian follow-up flavor. It's 9.8% alcohol. So
Very tasty.
Get you where you need to go in a hurry.
Absolutely. Smells delicious. Dead Bug Dave.
But, it's number 15 on the charts at the brewery.
Hey, so when you go into the Dirty Oar and you walk in, whether you come in the front door, the back door, the side door, whatever door you come in, you get to the bar area. First of all, you can actually see where the beer is made.
Yes.
And then you walk over to the bar and you look to the left, past all of the hand-carved, what do they call it? Help me out here.
The tap handles.
Tap handles. I couldn't get the word tap handles out. And hand-carved tap handles. You find your number, and there's always a beautiful description, a great little piece of artwork for every single one of them. Yeah. The alcohol content by volume.
Yes.
And then basically what it looks, I mean, it sets your imagination on the go. I mean, I just saw the post of the favorite, the Blue Smurf one.
That's gone already.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
I didn't even make it into.
I felt bad because as soon as I posted that, Doug sends me a message and says, "Oh, is that my favorite?" And I say, "Yes, it is." However, I didn't clarify that that's something we had in the past. And Chris was gone all last week.
Oh, okay.
So we blew number 19, which was another sour. So I went in the back to look for something, and I came across a Slim Smurf Berry.
Right.
And
Yeah,
so
that stuff was gone in a minute.
yeah,
Oh,
I
I
mean,
can
no,
imagine.
it didn't run out until 1:00 yesterday.
Oh, really?
So, but you told me you were coming by.
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
you can have the one in the picture.
I know. I thought I was coming by there,
Yeah.
but Karen was home with the flu.
Oh, the boss.
And I got this stink
Back to the
eye.
boss. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta quit farting on her pillow.
Yeah.
It gets me every time.
Yeah.
So the Dirty Oar, if we get into Brevard County, for our listeners far and wide, tell us how to get there.
We're at 329 King Street in Cocoa Village. We share a parking lot with Norman's. We're 1 block east of US 1 on the south side. Open Wednesday through Sunday, variety of hours. Wednesday, Thursday, we're open 4 to 10. Friday, Saturday, open noon to midnight, and Sundays noon to 8 p.m.
And period, point blank, they're not going to be open Monday and Tuesday.
Correct.
It's always nice to think of them when you drive by, but they're not going to open. And
We'll wave at you.
Yeah,
We're there
yeah,
working.
Yeah.
We were there. Chris and I were there all day today.
But they're not opening the doors. So that's when the real work happens.
Well, it depends.
Yeah, I know. But absolutely, please stop by. They are a huge supporter of us. Listen, we have so many things to cover from 2019. But the most recent from 2019, or right into the new year,
Yes.
was the First Responder 5K. And that was a great day for me because I wasn't working. I was on vacation.
You look pretty relaxed.
Oh, I was very relaxed. And and then the Heroes Brew actually really helped me to relax even more. Yeah. So is that still on tap?
It is. We have, I counted today, we still have 4 half barrels of it with your own significant tap handle as well.
Absolutely.
Great stuff.
Absolutely.
Man, I spent the day at home yesterday and drank a fair amount of that, so
right.
It's quite delicious.
You got to do quality assurance.
It's football day.
Well, it's funny you say that. I mean, that's our number one job. Quality is job one.
That's
I don't know
right.
who. Somebody penned that sometime down the path.
Some real smart guy.
I think Ford or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I should go to school and find out. That's kids, stay in school. If you're a kid and you're listening, stay in school. School is cool. School is school.
Absolutely.
So, but we had a great turnout for the run. Yeah. Of course, you were there with the tent. You served all of the first responder, everybody that walked up that participated in the run.
All the volunteers got beer, the runners. I mean, everybody was served.
And we had an amazing time. So, and then please, if you didn't see the pictures, flip through Facebook. We try to get all the pictures on there. But you also presented us with a check, and we're so thankful for your continued support.
Oh,
I mean, that just totally blows our mind. Yeah. And actually, I've been driving around like Happy Gilmore with that check in the back of my car. Yeah, I still got it. I was like, I'm going to give it to Doug. All right, let me just drive around a couple more days with it.
I got the whole one. You can keep that one.
Well, it's funny because Doug and I had talked about it a while before. We were trying to keep it on the down low that we were going to do that again.
Right.
But we'd had the big check made the first time.
Right.
And Doug says, well, just scrape the date off it and change it.
We're easy. Yeah. Any way we can do that. That was so cool. So what a great turnout. Again, thank you for all your support. We look forward to continuing to have a great team and growing our team and the efforts. And please stop by the Dirty Ore. I mean, it really makes a big difference. It's a great atmosphere. The lights are on. I can't say more than that. You turn the light, you have nothing to hide. There's beautiful artwork in there. And actually, did they already raffle it off, or did they?
The actual Eric Lamar, world famous Eric Lamar, did a live painting at the race last Saturday night. It's almost done. It's probably 95% done. It's in the brewery to look at. Right. Raffle tickets are $5 a piece to win the painting. Right. And the drawing will be this Saturday, the 18th at 8 p.m. at the brewery. And you don't have to be there to win. All you need to do is buy a raffle ticket. Your name and phone number on it will suffice. Perfect.
So get in there before Saturday, before the raffle happens. Make your purchase of the Bedbug Delight. I mean, this is cool.
That's good stuff.
And whatever else. Try the Heroes Brew if you haven't. Just be.
Did you say Bedbug?
Yeah, Deadbug. I'm sorry. The Deadbug Bedbug gets me every time. Yeah. So, but no, awesome. And so make sure you get that. It's a beautiful piece of art. Check out all the other art. I mean, we could actually put on like Google that's not only a awesome brewery, but it's also like a place to go check out art. It's a gallery, yeah. So
you can go pet dogs there because people bring their dogs in there, but it's just a cool place to hang out.
It really is. So,
and they support first responders. So
Go.
If we see your car parked in another parking lot, don't think we won't fucking remember that.
Doug said it. Listen, I work in the city of Cocoa, so I'm just going to call Doug and say, hey, I saw one. You got to go get them. Mm-hmm. And we're going to pull you out from wherever you're at and bring you over and show you what the Dirty Ore is all about. So
got me cussing already, like my first word out. I apologize.
It's okay.
Karen's probably at home cringing.
No, not again. So, Paul, again, thank you for all you do.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Absolutely.
We love you too, man. Thanks, Paul. You're just the best, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Glad to call you family. That's for sure. We wouldn't be here without you.
You're absolutely right. So last year we ended with 228, and we got that number from bluehelp.org. That was lives lost to completed suicide, and that absolutely blows our mind. That
documented.
That we've already started off this year with 2, and I just checked the numbers on Blue Help, and they're pretty good about updating it as soon as they can.
I think the fire. I think corrections was 13, fire was 138. Chris Fields, if you're watching, I think you are. If you know, can you put it up there? I think it's 138. But, you know, we say the numbers,
Yeah.
but in all reality, I got to shift because I can't. I got to look at you, man.
We're gonna get close here. We're gonna.
Yeah, this is Doug and Chris show tonight.
Yeah, we can gaze into each other's
My
eyes.
back will be killing me. So, obviously, we talk a lot about cops because we're just embedded in it. But we put the numbers up just so generally people will know. Like, hey, man, that's a freaking lot. I mean, that's ridiculous. I gave them numbers out at the Chiefs conference last week, and half the Chiefs didn't even know the number. They don't, you know, because they're busy working, right? But
we're all oblivious.
Yeah, one is one too many.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we have this conversation all the time that we go through all these extensive measures, and Chris is going to double check. Cool. We go through all these extensive measures, especially guys like you and I that had all this high-speed training, and we wear all this protective gear, and we do all this stuff, and if somebody's, you know, getting their butt whooped in the street, we come running. But this is the one thing that law enforcement lacks. And that's what I presented was, listen, we've had this conversation too, probably through the year. Excuse me. He's got me on all kinds of medicine, man, for this surgery. I'm out of whack. So I lost my train of thought. Take it over.
Yeah, sure. So Doug's actually, and let's recap what 2019 looked like. So we started Survived, and we actually did 12 episodes. Is that right, Jesse? 11. Okay, so we're on episode number 12.
We're on 12.
So version 2.0 right here, episode 1, second year.
Right.
Anyways, we got kicked off. You started traveling all over, making huge impacts, engaging law enforcement agencies all over the United States. And everybody really, I mean, we all know we have a problem. We all knew that there was a problem. We opened up a dialogue between not only law enforcement, but with firefighters, corrections. I mean, just a plethora of people that deal with the gnarliest of crap all the time, every day in their daily jobs and their daily lives. And so we started this conversation. We pushed our way, making this meeting time every other Monday is an opportunity for not only for you and I to have a conversation, and Karen to have the conversation, but to engage our friends and anybody that wants to listen and chime in online. So we could talk about how to make it through each day, each week, each month, each year, together with each other. So we survived 2019, and we did it together, and we hope that we set off the year with the right priorities of how to continue that, but don't stop the conversation. I was blessed to have the opportunity to watch Doug speak at the Police Chiefs Conference here in Florida this last weekend, and wow. First of all, this conversation is just a very, very small conversation, and it doesn't touch on all of the many things. And we try to, over time, encompass all of those things and what we're trying to say. But the overall message is, if you have something go along, reach out to someone and talk to them. We love you. We care about you. You don't have to use just us. We're a platform to get you help. We're not what help looks like. And that comes in the form of who you surround yourself by, what you're doing. Are you willing to speak up and know when you have a problem? And even when you're in that hard, deep place, if you're the people that are surrounded by you, they got to know you too. So, I mean, you're not a unicorn. Your friends and your family and the people that you work with, they got to speak up and say, hey, and you're a jerk, and you got to receive that some way, whatever that looks like. So we finished off the last show, and then I was talking to Karen over the last week, and she was like, you don't even know what I went through. And I love to hear Karen's voice because it's so clear, and so it always sticks in my mind when she tells me something. And I wanted to just jump back to that real quick because we were having a serious conversation, and she goes, oh, y'all talk about putting on the armor and the wheelbarrow, and no one's like us. We should be treated different. But
that's right.
I got my hair pulled. I got thrown on the ground. And I was like, you know what? we do need to take the opportunity to thank the people that we love that are around us, because we are the first responders. We do that crap, but the people that do it with us daily are very important too.
No, absolutely. I just, there's no way I'd be here. I wouldn't be here without her.
Right.
I mean, without a doubt. So it is, it's very important that you have that right support group. You have the right people in your corner. Because in my first go bout, I didn't have the right people in my corner.
You had cowards. I mean, no one knew what to do or what to say, and lack
of education.
Yeah, absolutely. And where to go and who to pull the trigger, who to make the decision. And finally, the second time around, there was a small change, and that change in the chief and that authority to say, we're going to fix the problem. We're going to fix this. We're not going to Baker Act him and do whatever we got to do. We're going to get him to help, and what does help look like? And then the change could come and happen. And, so hopefully by the end of this year, when he sees his final retirement, we can bring him in and have a conversation of, Chief, what does that look like? So I'm just trying to plant that seed early in this year, because we do want to have him in, because he can speak on a different level of what it's like to be the leader of that agency and make a decision to that point.
Chiefs buy-in.
Yeah.
That was part of the conversation. The Chiefs conference was, you got to buy into it. It starts, you got to start it at the top as well. But before I had to stop for a minute, turn it over to you, that's what I was getting at. And I brought that attention to him, and I'm sure you remember saying to everybody that as a police officer, firefighter, corrections, whatever field you're in at that capacity, especially, I have to say, this one I got to put us on top, especially with law enforcement on the danger criminal side. Obviously, the firefighters on the fire medical side, but on that, when there's an issue, you call the cops. Yeah. It's the bottom line, because who do you call after the cops? You can call the National Guard. Good luck with that, right? You're going to call the military. They call us, right? Yeah, right? And then even when you call the cops, when the cops can't fix it, who do they call? They call the SWAT team, right? So I tried to put that message clear, and especially as chiefs and administrators, we fix everybody's problem, from the idiot that called us once a week to get their kid out of school, get up and get bebop out of school, get them up for school, to I got a hostage situation and an armed gunman, right? Yeah. We fix whatever problem is. And if there's a house on fire, you call the fire, they fix that freaking problem. And if somebody's bouncing off the floor and foaming at the mouth, they fix that problem. Right. And so what I addressed to them was, listen, we fix every problem out there. We can fix ourselves. Listen, and I'll probably get a bunch of backlash, but it's my show, so I don't give a crap. Yeah, our show. Yeah. We don't need a bunch of fancy pants PhD doctors to come into a conference and tell us how fucked up we are. We already know. We're living it. We see it every day. And that's what a lot of these trainings, and even at the upper level from IACP, and I'm sure I seen Kevin just tuned in. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin. But even on the fire side, you go to these conferences and, oh, you guys, it's this and it's that, and you need peer support. Listen, bullcrap. We can fix the problem ourselves if we focus on that particular issue. We implement the right training, we implement the right guidelines and policies and procedures, and we make it a priority. Right. Why not? I see it a mile away. I'm 100% confident that we can fix it. We don't need a bunch of clowns coming from all over the nation. There's some clowns in town this week putting on a conference with a bunch of bullcrap. Right. And I had a bunch of chiefs call me, hey, you going to be there? No. I don't need to go listen to a bunch of Riris tell me how screwed up I am. Let's fix the problem. Let's work on training and education, and let's come up with something a little bit different. Let's put our money into different resources and stuff of that nature.
Well, and I think, I don't want to cut you off and lose that thought, but I think you just hit it on the nose, and you actually said this in the conference. Listen, it's people are out to get the money of the agencies and the people that are broken. And I saw it when I was in the military. Every person, every entity around a military installation is just there to get the soldier dollars. People that come into the police world, I mean, you say, oh, I have a green hat, and that's a nice green hat. It's a $6 hat. And then you say, oh, it's a tactical hat because we sell it to police officers, and it's $26. Get it out of here. And there's people just trying to capitalize on, and I think that one of the messages that Doug is trying to convey is that, listen, you don't got to go spend a ton of money to fix the problem. Fix the problem, and that starts with pull your group in, just as you've done for your seatbelt policy. Something as simple as that. Hey, we got people dying from car crashes because they weren't wearing their seatbelt. Okay, we implemented a policy. We fixed the problem, right? Yeah. So we train, okay, when you get in the car, you put your seatbelt on. When you get out of the car, you take your seatbelt off. And it can be as simple as that. After you go to the serious call, whatever that looks like, we debrief that, and we start talking immediately instead of waiting until 7, 10, 15, 20 years down the road when, oh, shit, we're broken, and how do we glue that back together?
Right. And in our department, over my career and yours, we were excellent.
Right.
Gordon implemented, even turned over to Tony, and Tony does the same thing. We debriefed on everything. Hey, I saw you do this. Oh, you did? Okay, great. Not like, oh, no, I didn't. But, okay, great. Let's work on that next Wednesday in training.
Right.
And that's what that type of stuff needs to be done. But I can tell you countless horrible things that you and I both were on, all the way to the shooting where the guy shot himself on up by where Jarvis Howell lived, that corner. Yep. Remember that nasty one? Yeah. Right in front of Chris, right in front of Amy and Walt, and all these guys.
In front of the chief at that time.
In front of the chief, and nobody did nothing. And so those are the things that has to change. And Kevin said, PD and FD doesn't buy in, the culture will never change. Absolutely. We have to change it. We have to fix it. We don't need all these other things. Listen, for a fire department, I don't care what kind of letters you got after your name. You put Chris Fields in a room full of firefighters and let him talk to them for 1 hour, every one of those firefighters will change their way of thinking and change their process. Same with Kevin Falk. Just let him get in there. You don't need to go out and bring in these radical dudes. Like, I seen Gil Martin. He's like, everybody thinks he's the hero. He's a great guy. I met him. He's a wonderful guy, and he knows his stuff. But he ain't $15,000 worth of freaking wonderful.
Hell no, he ain't.
That bitch better rub my feet if I'm sitting in a conference for $15,000. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We can do.
You better
things,
feed me food.
Yeah, we can do things different. And sorry, Kevin, if you're watching, but Doc, I had to throw you under a table. But he knows how I am, and he'll get over it.
One of the surest, fastest solutions to change is immediate, and it's in-house, and it's people taking care of people. And there's this year alone, there's going to be a lot of distractions. There's going to be people trying to sell you this and get you to go over and do this. Just say no. Don't be distracted. Stay focused. You got to stay committed to fixing the problem. And I love when Doug said, no, there's no more stigma. It's out there. We know that we have a problem. Let's just start fixing it.
Yeah, the stigma thing, and there's a bunch of kooks out there. They put that saying on everything, and it's a sales gimmick now. Oh, stop the stigma, end the stigma. Really? Wait, now after all these years, we got to stop this? There is no stigma.
Right.
We already know. Any guy who has done this first responder job already knows it. And it's not, you're not, listen, I never thought about that stigma one time, and I damn sure wasn't thinking about it when I put a fucking gun in my head and pulled the trigger. I wasn't thinking about stigma. I didn't give a shit.
Right.
I didn't care about no stigma. I didn't care what anybody thought.
Right.
What I wanted was to get the hell out of here because I was sick and tired of being here.
Yeah.
And I was sick and tired of being here from the totality of circumstances.
Right.
That's a law enforcement term
said
right
that.
there. I remember that from the academy. John
good.
Blackley would be proud of me right now.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so we can rant and rave about that all day long, but that has got to be the process. And you brought something, and you need to come up to Michigan. Hey, man, you just say the word, I'll be there. Chris will come with me, too. Yeah. Hey, Robert. So you brought up about, we had this conversation, I think, when we went out to dinner. Stay in your lane, know your role.
That's my theme for this year.
So, and then we had one more thing.
Yeah.
So setting your priorities for 2020. Did you already say that today?
Yep.
So Chris made a statement earlier. He said, Karen has such a clear voice, and it sticks in your head. Well, a lot of people think I'm messed up because I had a brain injury, but and I'm just crazy, but it's been when you listen to her 24 hours a day, man, my brain's cooked. I don't remember nothing. 'Cause, like, people laugh at, I tell that story. Like, we drove to North Carolina to see Cody graduate from the Air Force Academy. And
he said drove. That's like 11,
and Doug,
13 hours.
listen, my brother's probably freaking out because I've never driven more than 4 hours. I just don't drive.
Right.
I didn't drive at work.
Right.
And so we went because it was my son and I had to go up there. And she sang to me for like 9 hours straight. And I'm looking at her going, I'm the one that got put in a freaking hospital. You're singing for 9 hours. My poor dog's looking at me in the rearview mirror like, man,
take
what
me
the
right
fuck,
now.
dude? Let me out the back. So anyway.
I love Karen. We miss her today.
Yeah, I put her through hell today. She's not having a good day. She's awful worried about Thursday. But I told her, listen, man, you can't get rid of this cockroach.
Yeah, and so let's just like address the white elephant in the room. Tell us about what that looks like.
Thursday, well, I will have my second back surgery, which will be significantly worse than the first one, and which is a key component. I didn't bring this up the other day at a conference, but most of my trauma came from being injured at work, and because my whole life revolved around being an athlete. And as much as I was a gung-ho SWAT guy, I was a triathlete, and I was a soccer player and a surfer, and my world revolved around that. And when that was taken from me, from an 11-year-old piece of crap, it was the start. And really, one of the things I teach about is when you do this job and you run high speed for 10, 20 years, 100 miles an hour, especially guys that are, like working detectives and drug guys and agents and stuff where you bring your job home with you, administrators, and you're building all that trauma up like I did. And, I brought trauma home from Louisiana, wherever the hell I got sent to. Once I got injured and I sat still for a minute, and this is another leg of when you retire. Once I sat still, I had time to think about everything, and I literally went from A to Z overnight. I lost my flipping mind, and I sat on a couch and wallowed in self-pity because I had ruptured disc, and it was a disaster in there. My athletic career was going down the toilet, and so I obviously I'm known for my perseverance and my discipline, and I overcame it, and I came back to work, and I competed again, and it was cool. I even did good, not like I used to, but I won a couple races and a championship. But it's 10 years later. I'm 10 years older, and I've re-injured it, doing some SWAT stuff and a few things here and there, and so now they've got to reconstruct. So they've got to take all the hardware out from before, which is about three fusions, and they're going to take that out and replace it with new technology, and they're going to go one up and one down. So I think I will have like 5 total vertebrae fused, and then they have to reconstruct the last vertebrae where it meets into the joint because it's shifting, it's moving, something's wrong there, and it's pinching on my spinal cord. So if I don't, I'll be wheeling my sorry ass around. So
this is like a PSA to NSA, like, don't stop Doug. It's just his back. It's not some kind of funky weapon that he's carrying through the line, right? God, he's going to be full of metal.
I light up like a Christmas tree, But so I'm okay with it. I'm scared. I'm nervous because I know what's in store for me. It's really, really about 10 days of sheer hell. It's pretty painful. So I'm not looking forward to that. But I've set my eyes on the grand prize.
That's right.
And my goal is to get back. I want to get in the pool, and I want to get on my bike, and I got one more left in me.
One more.
I got one more left.
I believe that, though. I do believe that in you, and one might lead to 2, and 2 could be whatever. But I think so. Here in the priority for this year, and we talked about it a lot last year, is health, your health and well-being, and that was a Doug. So Doug knows that kicked him into the tailspin that led to his demise early on. Now we're going to turn that into a positive where he resets and he can reconnect. And so if you're listening, if you are a part of anything that believes in a higher being or whatever, please just say a prayer. Think about Doug in this transitional time. He's going to be down, but he's not going to be out for very long. So
no, I don't sit still.
And even if I got to cart him across the stage or whatever that look, carry him on my back, I can learn. I mean, I learned the fireman battle buddy carry. Like, I can do it. I'm not going to wear a fireman's suit though.
That'd be cool though. It
carry.
would be cool.
All right, we'll get Kevin. Kevin can wear the fireman's suit, and I'll just push you out in the wheelchair. I don't know.
Yeah. So my buddy, he just chimed in. Jason, he's from Montana, and or Wyoming. And when I was in Jackson Hole, he came to meet me a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And we were walking that at night. And, man, it's like, I don't know if any of y'all ever been to Jackson Hole, but it's a whole different level of cold. I say cold as hell, but, I mean, it's freaking freezing, man. And I'm a sissy. You know, when it comes to cold weather, man, I am a huge sissy. And we were walking back from dinner, and I hit an ice patch, and I had my buddy's pizza in my hand. He was back at that room. My other buddy, Thayer, was there, and I didn't want to drop the pizza, but, man, I almost ate crap, and I twisted, and, I pulled it off. It was a slick move, man, and within minutes, I was like, couldn't feel my leg, man. It was, because that's what happens, but thanks for reminding me of that busting ass move I did.
Should have just got pizza insurance. You could have dropped it, rolled over, and something.
There ain't no dominoes out there, but
Jackson Hole. Yeah. Listen, it's so bad out there that they named it after somebody's hole. That's, I mean,
but you know what's crazy, and I never asked anybody. Maybe somebody can chime in. Doug Levine said he never hurt his back at the dinner table. No, but you hurt your belly. It sticks out too far. And didn't you eat some corn one time and you were in the hospital for 3 weeks with, what do they call that? Diverticulitis? He had a tick in his anus or something like that. But so I didn't ask where Jackson Hole came from,
right.
But I will tell you this, and I obviously this year I've been everywhere.
I've been everywhere.
It is the most beautiful place I've ever seen in the United States. Now I know where you live, where your other place is at. That's pretty freaking nice up there. I've never seen anything like it. I was blown, probably like the idiots who come here to Florida and go, look, babe, palm trees. That's what I dealt with all day, because everybody from up north, it's on, man. It's tourist season.
Right.
And but man, I was just hey, Sean, good to see you. Sean Wyman, man, he's got some good stuff, man. I'm looking forward to working with him. But anyway, beautiful. You got to go. Well, we got to go there this summer, so you don't have a choice. You have to come with me, because we got work to do there this summer. Chris is coming and his wife. So anyway, bring us to. Let's do a couple minutes, and we'll take a break at 30 minutes and give the sponsors some limelight.
Yeah.
But prep us for what you want to talk about for the new year, for what we just talked about before.
Oh, yeah. So now, I mean, we really have to set our priorities. And so last year I talked about what my themes were. 2 years ago, it was no excuses. I had no excuse for anybody. I'd just go and work and do whatever that looked like. Then last year, it was people first. And I really wanted to put people first and help people as much as I can. But this year is know your role. And it's important to know. So it's important for me to know my role, because I can step into a bunch of different things and wear a bunch of different hats. But I think we all want to be effective. And that goes a lot with what is the priorities for this year? What does that look like? And so one of our priorities is to, continue this conversation, get more help talking about it, find what real help looks like, and then grow. We have to grow. I think part of this year is growing Survive First, growing and taking it to a different level. And we're going to have to meet on many different fronts. And Doug has been traveling, but we're going to need people to help continue that. And so it's important as we get into July, we have the gala, and that's an opportunity for us to fundraise and make money to help impact first responder lives and people that are all connected to this conversation on a national and even worldwide level. I know that you've had opportunity to listen to speakers from other places in the world, and we're not the only ones that are broken. The Americans are not the only ones that are broken, and the more that we can get together and move in a direction of just fixing it. So I think priorities, you got to be healthy first, and Doug is paving the way for that. He's going to go get physically healthy and help strengthen and continue to strengthen his mind, which is very, very, very important. Because strong mind, strong body, healthy body, strong relationships, we can be better at communicating. I say that there's 3 things to a healthy relationship. And if one of these 3 things are broken, then your relationship is broken. And this is more on an intimate level, not a professional level. It shouldn't be on a professional level. But sex, money, and communication. If one of those 3 things is broken in your marriage, then they're all broken. If communication happens to be the key, because if you're not talking, if you're not communicating what's going on, even the little things in life matter. You matter, and you have to say, hey, man, when you cut me off, that really irritated me. It made me mad, and here's why. And I'll do it to Doug every once in a while, and we do it to Karen all the time. I think we just cut her off, and you lose your train of thought, and that can be frustrating. But if you don't convey it, nobody knows. Nobody's a mind reader. You got to tell people where you're at and what you're thinking. Speak up. I mean, that has to be a priority for all of us, is to step outside of our comfort zone, say what we mean to say, and let's start moving forward. This is a great transitional year. It's the Roaring 20s 2.0. I mean, I don't know how you could say that better, but let's formulate a different plan. If what you're doing or what you've done hasn't been working for you, change it. How hard is that? And, when I say change, listen, if your family is setting you back and taking you down the wrong path, cut them out. Oh, that's easier said than done. Try it. Let me know how it works. There's some peace in that. When you create that, I'm only taking in the positive. I mean, that was a priority for me several years ago. I will only surround myself by positive people. At that time, it's about the time that we met. And I mean, what a huge change for me. I gave up everything that I knew to step into a world of something that I didn't know. And it was eerie as hell. And I thought, well, maybe I was alone. And then I sat in an office with a whole bunch of big, gnarly cops. And they were like, oh, yeah, I screwed that up. I did that. And it was so humbling. And I was like, wow, there's something to take away from it. So you can only set your priorities for the year. Our priorities are to know our role, to know where we stand in this place at this time and what's going to happen for us. And we're going to dictate that, because we're going to be healthy mentally and physically. We're going to have healthy relationships. We're not going to let people into our relationships that bring us down. And then we're going to move out, and we're going to help everybody around us get better at what we do, and we're going to make a big difference.
So let me elaborate on some of the goals. Hey, Sean, while you're on there, put your book stuff on there so the viewers can see it. So here, and my brother saying hi, man. I gotta say,
absolutely.
My brother, man. I'm surprised. Well, I knew tonight's the Clemson LSU game, so I'm like, ain't nobody gonna watch our show tonight. But obviously that was wrong. I think it's more people like us than they do Clemson. But
Clemson Hill.
Yeah, actually, I neither of them are my team, but I know my brother likes Clemson, so I'll root for them. But some of the things you can prioritize that go on what you were saying for the year is, it's a very simple thing. Put yourself first. Most people go, well, I put my kids first. That's the most common thing. Who's first? My kids. Well, listen, if you can't take care of yourself effectively, how can you take care of them effectively?
Right.
Is effectively the correct word?
Yeah.
Effectively. Yeah. And if and that goes back to our spec op saying, sharp sword, sharp mind.
Right.
Sharp mind, sharp sword. Right? So if you got your ducks in a row, then everything else is going to fall into play. And, I know guys who shoot every week, and they do this, and they go to jiu-jitsu, and they do all these type of things to better their career, even go into school. And in the same breath, they're a train wreck.
Yeah.
They can't manage their finances. They can't manage their relationships. They're running around like Karen's with a full wheelbarrow. We'll have to change that this year to something else. So how about a full backpack? Does that make her feel better because it's school related?
What do teachers carry? Maybe a cart. Maybe let's call it a cart.
Full cart or something.
Something.
But you've got to set that priority of taking better care of yourself.
Right.
And ultimately, we all lose vision on it. The very first thing in your career is you take this career. It's a career. Do you really know what the definition of career is? That's what you're going to do your entire life. And the reason you do it is to pay your bills, to provide for your family, to do the things. For me, it was to provide for my kids with benefits and that. And then it was also to have a retirement.
Life after work.
Life after work. And you can't do all that and enjoy all that if you don't do the proper things along the way. Yeah. It's just like changing your oil in your car. If you never change your oil and you never freaking service your car, it's going to run like crap and it's ultimately going to blow up and fall apart. Maybe people will understand that analogy.
That was good.
You've got to, if it's possible to change oil in your body, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You've got to fix yourself. You've got to set a priority to taking better care of yourself, whether it's training, education, at a different level. You have to make yourself priority one.
Absolutely.
Period. That's all I got for you.
No, that was really good.
That's just one.
Hey, the analogies are maybe going to be the best way that we connect. We can put it on different levels. I talk to some really smart cops that write really bad reports, and I say, hey, you only have to write it at like an 8th or 9th grade level. Just make it to where you and I can understand. It's really for you to recall what you did, on the stand, and you just get the message out there. Listen, we're not fancy people. We don't have big letters in before or after our names.
We get a couple before our name if you're any good.
Well, I mean a lot of my previous letters before my name were like asshole and everything else, so
I got those. That's just comes in. But you got DET now. That's like one of the highest
dirtbag
honors. My initials are DAM.
Cool. Yeah.
That's my initials stand for. And when I retired as an agent. Yeah. That was the most honorable thing. I didn't, that's what I was, man. Right. That's what I retired as, and I'm good with that.
But the whole point is having the conversation, getting to where you're trying to get, whatever that looks like. And I say whatever that looks like a whole lot because for many different people, it's all different. We don't all experience the same types of things. So whatever that looks like for you, whoever you is, whoever's listening or going to listen to this, I want you to stop and think just about yourself as we're having this conversation and how it applies to you. It might not all apply to you. However, if there's some little nugget in here that you can take away to help make you better or help someone around you to be better, that's really important. And man, I can't get that change in the oil. That was a good analogy. So anyways, what I was going to say is analogies. I've listened to you do it 100 times, and it's really well received, especially maybe at our level why does everything have to be so complicated? Maybe that's what I just want to say. It doesn't have to be complicated.
We make everything complicated. We're notorious for that as humans, as Americans. Look at our government. Yeah. They make everything is difficult, and life has just become difficult. And I presented to the 1013 Club, but a whole huge crowd. I was a little blown away how many retired cops. Most of them are NYPD here in Florida, and a bunch of them in the room. They were old timers, like seriously old timers, and they weren't buying into the conversation. But one of the things I explained to him, and the difference between a cop a long time ago or military a long time ago or firefighters a long time ago, life has changed drastically. Back in the day, you had 10 things to worry about through the day. We have 200 to 500 things to worry about through the day. We have technology. Back in the day, you didn't have cell phones, you didn't have computers, you didn't have any of that. When I became a cop, we didn't have that. And then as time goes on. So we got way more on our plate, way more to deal with, way more of a load on us. And so times are significantly different. And the human body, you know, from back when it started to where it's now, has an entirely different load. I even had Karen's dad one time said, I don't buy into it because when I came back from Vietnam, we didn't have any of that stuff. No, but we do now.
Right.
And, you know, we just came back. No, the guys back then were equally messed up as the guys coming home today.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And they didn't document numbers and stuff. We left that out. I think it was 585 military guys committed suicide this year.
Yeah,
people are saying, sorry.
I can tell you how broken that is. I literally sat in a brief because the military wants to put you in front of a class for everything and then tell you that this is how it's going to be. This is how you're going to do it. Oh, and it's the most disconnected conversation to anything. Oh, the Sergeant Major of the Army had PTSD. So if you say you have PTSD, then we're not going to take away all your rights and you can still carry a gun and this, that, and the other. It's a bunch of horse crap is what it was at the time. And the person actually given the conversation said, oh, well, suicide. So you're going to ask, you're going to care, and you're going to escort. And here's how you do that. But for me, I don't understand suicide. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Does anybody think anything different?
Yeah.
And 300 people sitting in a chapel, one of them would get up and say something. And I was like, I don't want to steal his thunder, but let's get real for a second. I ripped off my rank and my name tape, and I'm like, let's call me Chris for a moment. Holy shit, let's be personable. Let's have this conversation. And literally looking across a chapel of every different rank, there were people in there that were broken, that needed to talk, that needed help, and they just wanted to be acknowledged and have the opportunity to say I need help, but I don't want this to ruin my career. I mean, I don't know why help has to be in the form of taking away someone's rights and privileges if they know that they need help and they're willing to get help. But damn it, we make help too hard sometimes to even obtain.
Yeah. Taking away their stuff's not going to fix the problem.
No.
You know, it's just like the OJ thing. Well, you got to wait 3 days to buy a gun. Well, listen, if you really want to go whack somebody, you'll wait 3 days, or
absolutely.
You'll find another means. And the same thing for, you know, taking stuff away from guys. It's not going to fix the problem.
No.
Like if you because they did take all my stuff, but they weren't that slick because I had stuff hidden.
Right.
I mean,
right.
You'll find a will or a way, right?
I mean, I have a buddy that I'm sure that he would never know if they took my shit and I could get it from. I mean,
right?
When you want to get there, you can get there. So let's put the education into the people and not make it so freaking hard. I don't think anybody needs to sit through an hour-long class and say, we're going to train you on this. I think each individual person says, I need help like this. And I think I need to talk about it. I need to know what's acceptable to me or what's accessible to me. I apologize. And then what does that look like for the follow through? If it's short term, who pays for that? How do we pay for that? And then if it's long term, what does that look like? Okay, so we're talking about, you know, plan A and plan B here. You know, I mean, not too hard. And then, I mean, if there's a big enough need, we can facilitate employing somebody to do that for us where it doesn't come back and have an adverse effect on employee records and public information.
Yeah, no, that stuff. That's where the education is, educating the command staff and the chiefs and the stuff like that. Hey, these are the processes. Educating the guys out there and saying this is how we do it. It's confidential, and whether they say they don't buy in or they don't, right?
Right.
Well, it's not about buying in.
Right.
Obviously the chiefs have to buy in to make the process, but for the guys, I'm using the wrong terminology as buy-in, but, I get a lot of challenges from people because they just don't buy it. Or,
right.
I've heard guys like, oh man, I was a cop for 20 years. I ain't got PTSD. I go, no, bitch, but your cheeks are so freaking red from your high blood pressure and your guts bouncing off of me.
Right.
And you take a breath every 3 words.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah, no,
you're so
absolutely.
freaking out of shape and it's stress related. So I don't buy that crap. And then, oh, you know, I'm not into that huggy crap. Well, either am I.
Right.
But what I am into is I've buried my friends. I've seen guys have to be put in a ground and it sucks. And everybody, like, listen, the worst funerals are obviously, you know, cops and firefighters, and, you know, from September 11th on through the Iraqi war, it's always heartbreaking and all that. And everybody's devastated, but nobody's stepping up to do nothing. Right?
Right.
Nobody's fixing a problem. I've lived that, and so what I'm doing is I'm taking that step like you to say, hey, let's fix this crap. Because listen, I've trained guys, we've been trained on how to kick ass and take names. Okay, great, I got it. Listen, does anybody out there doubt my skills? I challenge anybody. If you think I'm a candy ass or huggy touchy, come step in the ring.
Right.
Don't just because I'm 50 years old, I still got it.
He'll whip your ass.
I will whoop your ass in a freaking minute, and I ain't scared of nobody. You know that.
Yeah.
It ain't about that. I'm going, listen, I've been protecting people my entire life. I don't even know. They didn't even freaking like me.
Right.
But the guys that I went to war with every day, that's the guys I'm protecting now. Right. Now that I'm out of the game, I'm going to do something. So instead of in dealing with that, and because everybody's doesn't deal with it until it happens to them.
Right.
Right. And it's happening all over the place, you know, and you come to work and go, hey, so-and-so just killed himself. Oh my God, I'm devastated. Let's avoid that. Let's have those conversations. Let's do that. That's kind of my rant. It's got nothing to do with huggy touchy and all that kumbaya crap. It really doesn't. It's about, are we going to take care of each other? Are we going to save each other where it counts? Because we've, you know, I said this the other day. When a guy's getting his ass kicked in the middle of the road, here we come. I asked every chief in that room, what would you do if your guy was getting his ass kicked in the street? And they go, man, full speed. Well, why don't we do that when they're at home getting their ass kicked? Because we don't. And that's what we need to do, is put that hand out there and go, hey, man, I get it. I know life's rough. Let's talk, man. Let's have that conversation. Let's do something about it.
Hey, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we'll close it out. Doug and Chris, we'll see you.
You're listening to Space Coast Podcast, home of the greatest podcasts on the Space Coast. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor or having your own show, email us at spacecoastpodcast@hotmail.com. Space Coast Podcast. Talk hard!
Hey, it's Vinny with the Vinny Marino Podcast Show. I want you to join me Wednesday evenings as we tackle all the crazy headlines and uncover what's missing. Also, we will have exciting guests from our community who have seen it all and not afraid to spill the beans about it. And finally, we can't forget about Vinny's top rants and raves about traffic, restaurants, and events. Join us on Facebook as we go live and take you behind the scenes of each show and let you be a part of it. It's the Vinny Marino Podcast Show, raw, unedited talk all the time, straight to your dome. Live from the Space Coast Podcast Studios. Listen everywhere you find podcasts.
All right, we're back.
Welcome back.
When I was on my tangent, talking about things we can do, one of the things that's really hit the market this year, one of the ways that, you know, because obviously first responders are so funny about their confidentiality. And one of the things that's been developed has been online therapy. And so the company that we work with is STEPSTONE Connect. And so basically, instead of getting in your car and drive, Mike made me do this when I came home. I had to. Do I need to come up? Thanks.
Just be comfortable.
Yeah. So I had to go, to therapy when I came back to work. So I would drive in my car, I would get out, and then I'd sit in a lobby full of people, and I'd be freaked out about, oh man, these people probably saw me on the news or something of that nature. Did I arrest that guy? And so it was really uncomfortable. So I didn't like that. And then, it's 45 minutes of traffic, an hour there, sitting in the lobby, 45 minutes home. So it ends up becoming a 3-hour part of your day. So the thing that I like about this online therapy is you just link in, you hit a link, you sign in, and your therapist is on. It's like a FaceTime, right? Is that what they call it on FaceTime? And so it's virtual therapy, and the therapists they have are like my therapist, and I ain't scared to say, I've got two. I've got one here local, but then I have another one. I have a buddy, Dr. Dara in Arizona, that I call if I need to, and then I have Denise Coyle in Seattle, and she's like one of the lead clinicians for the DEA, a multitude of first responders. She's amazing. Like every time I hang up the phone, I'm like, wow, I feel freaking fantastic. And that's it. Boom. It's a phone call. I talked the other day in my backyard, walking around playing with my dog. And it was, what a great atmosphere that was. When I tell chiefs about this, they're like, really? There's a such thing? There is a such thing. And so that's just an easy tool that somebody can have. And if you can't afford it, that's where, foundations like ours, we work with a multitude of foundations from Code 4 to Healthy Hire, Healthy Retire down in South Florida. We all collaborate, which is great. We're all in the same business, but we all help each other. The ultimate goal is to save lives. So that's one of the things that we could look forward to a year. They've actually come on board with Survive First, STEPSTONE Connect. So if if you're watching, check them out, man. It's a great thing. We have if you contact us, we'll set you up with them. But that's really all I got. Thank you for being my friend.
Hey, thank you.
And my brother.
Absolutely.
So I'm guarantee I'm going to be out a couple shows.
Absolutely.
I think you got guys lined up to come in. Obviously, Karen will come in as soon as she can after, she'll be babying me for a little bit. But thank God I have her, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the last one I had to do on my own. I was single. I had some crappy girlfriend, but so this would be a whole different game plan. But you got some cool people coming on board on the show, and maybe I'll be back in a month, maybe 2 months or something like that. But I'll be around. I might chime in, see how things go, or maybe you guys can just wheel me in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the guy said, you might be in a wheelchair. I go, I can win a race in a wheelchair. That might be a new division I can conquer.
That's right. That's right. Bring the gold home somewhere else, right?
We'll see what happens. But thanks again. I'll see everybody soon. My phone, obviously, after Thursday will be in the hands of Karen for about a week because I'll be out of incapacity.
When he's on drugs, we don't let him text or type because who knows what you're going to get.
Have a hard enough time off of him. So anyway, that's it. So close us out, Chris.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, first of all, we're going to say a prayer and keep Doug in our thoughts and prayers, of course, through this time. But we are so thankful for you, the listener, for everybody following and watching as we grow this and we continue to be here. You're important. You matter. I hope that you tell somebody that they're important, that that they matter. Open up your contacts. Reach out to somebody that you haven't talked to recently or in a long time. Doug used to, write down a list of 5 or 6 people that he would contact each week. What a cool, neat little thing that you can do. But just reach out and say, hey, I haven't talked to you. I haven't got to say Happy New Year. Say something new. The New Year is always great for that. Like there's people that I didn't connect with, but just say Happy New Year. Whatever it is, you matter. I care about you. If you need me to load your lips, just, hey, man, I'm thinking about you. And if you're going through something right now, I might be going through something right now. Let's talk it out. Let's find what help looks like. Doug just gave you a great tool to use. You could get therapy at the ends of your fingertips on your phone and the safety and confines of your own home. We hope that you continue to follow along, that you tell somebody about the show, that you continue to watch, that you help us to get better, that you chime in on Facebook, whatever that looks like. And if you find your space and yourself in the city of Cocoa, stop by, see the guys over at the Dirty Oar. They help us to do this. But we really care about you, and we're here for you. So at the end of the day, it takes all of us doing this together to make a change. And Doug said, stop the there's no stigma. It's over. Let's just do it. Let's just fix the problem.
Fix the problem. And then Mike Cavalieri, man, he's
so proud of him.
Yeah, he's moving on. It's one of our boys, man. He's a former Army medic, all around great guy, and he's moving on to bigger and better things. We can't say where he's going or what he's doing, but we're proud of him, and it was an honor to work with him.
Absolutely.
He's true one. He's definitely one of the boys, and I'm proud of him. I'm honored to be his friend. So that's it. Thank you.
Catch us in 2 weeks. We'll see you soon. Doug, Chris, Karen will be back. Peace.